So I just got done installing 36 square feet of sound deadening mat into my Honda Fit. You're going to notice the difference of be slightly quieter when I added the sound deadening material. Be slightly quieter again when I fixed my suspension. And then when I put the tires on last, you're going to notice it being super quiet. So I was going to make a quick and easy video of adding one box of sound deadening material to the Honda Fit and comparing the before and after results. When I filmed this video, I didn't have anything on the inside of my car and my roof rack was currently off. So I took my car on the road, got it up to 45-50 miles per hour, recorded the decibel reading, came back, installed one box of sound deadening material in the rear end. After I added the sound deadening material, I took it back on the road and there was little to no difference after adding this material. It wasn't the sound deadening material's fault, it was because my car wasn't in the best running shape at the time. The suspension was at 80,000 miles and needed to be replaced. I got my suspension replaced. It was a smoother ride, but again, there was like little to no difference. But the main culprit was my rear tires, which were worn unevenly due to a bad alignment. And that's what made it sound like a semi-truck downshifting. When I got my rear tires replaced, it made all the difference in the world. It dropped about 10 decibels. How much of it was the new tires? How much of it was the sound deadener? I don't know. And even when I ran my last test and got a 10 decibel difference, my roof rack was added to the equation. So even though it may have added a little noise, it was still a 10 decibel difference from just like fixing my rear tires. Moral of the story is, make sure your tires are in good working condition before you even add sound deadener. So we're gonna come back and do a part 2 soon after I get my front tires replaced. We're gonna go get a decibel reading again, but on the tollway at 70 miles per hour when the roof rack's gonna start to make a lot of noise. Come back, remove the headliner, sound deaden the roof, and then put the headliner back up and then go get another decibel reading on the tollway. This time, all 4 tires should be replaced and silent, and then we should have much better results of the before and after comparison. That being said, just enjoy the video of me taking apart my car and putting the sound deadener in. What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to add some sound deadening material to the inside of the Honda Fit. We're going to get a decibel reading before we add it, add the sound deadening material, and then get another decibel reading after we added the material. That way we can see how much of a difference this really makes. Most boxes come in a box of 36 square feet. So with 36 square feet, I'm hoping to cover the spare tire area, the quarter panels, and the rear hatch panel. I chose Killmat sound deadening material because it was one of the few that actually advertised a thermal insulated value as well. Before we get started, we're going to get a decibel reading of how loud the Honda Fit is. Then we're going to come back, add the material, and then get a decibel reading afterwards and see how much we improved. Now that our base test is out of the way, we're going to remove all the paneling from the inside, sound mat everything, put the paneling back in, and then do another road test. I already got videos on my channel of how to remove everything, so I'm just going to gloss right past that. Now that the interior panels have been removed, I already hit it with the vacuum to get up any sand or loose dirt or loose particulates, and now I'm going to hit it with the degreaser. I'm going to wipe everything down to make sure there's proper adhesion between the sound deadening mat and the surface of the car. One last suggestion before we start putting down the sound deadening mat is to inspect your spare trunk area, make sure there's not any rust or water puddles. I know at least in the Honda Fits, the first and second generation have a lot of rear hatch leak problems, and this might be rusted. So hit up the rust, cover it with some Rust-Oleum before you put any of the sound deadening material down. My car looks pretty good. There's one small spot up here I'm going to sand and then just spray it with primer real quick, and then I'm going to start spreading the material down in the trunk. It's not necessary to cover the full surface area to reap the benefits of the sound deadening material, but however, since this is a small car and I'm trying to reap the benefits of the thermal insulation, we are going to cover as much of the surface area as we can. I just got done installing 36 square feet of sound deadening mat into my Honda Fit. We got to cover the whole spare tire area, and then I went on the floorboards underneath the rear seats almost all the way to the driver and passenger seats. And then I came back, I had a couple sheets left over, so then I started working on the quarter panels. After that, I hit the hatch panel. I got about half of that covered underneath. It was a little hard to get into. I do have another box of 36 square feet, but I'm saving it for the roof. I want to put on my roof rack and get a decibel reading, take off the ceiling panel, install the sound deadening mat, and then see if the sound deadening mat would dampen my roof rack noise at all. The ceiling should only take about 16 square feet. That gives me another half a box to come back and work around the wheel wells and then maybe hit the doors. Now that everything's been installed, let's get the car back together and go take another reading and see if any of this was worth it or if it did anything at all. One thing I want to mention that I didn't see on anybody else's YouTube video is wear a pair of old pants. I got some of this black tacky stuff on my pants from sitting down in the car, and it's all over the bottom of my shoes. Just take that in mind. Make sure your tires are in good working condition before you even add sound deadener.